What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report. Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether it is time for the Miami Heat's fans to start panicking about the team. So before we get into the video, though, make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. We're going to be talking about this Nuggets game and talking about what went wrong. And like I said, talking about whether it's time for the Heat fans to start panicking or not. Because it was a very tough loss against the Nuggets, especially in the first half. It was very hard to watch. So let's get right into it, man. So the Heat currently sit at third in the Eastern Conference with a record of 13-8. Like I said, just lost to the Nuggets last night, 120-111. But in the first half, it was a lot, more. It wasn't close in the first half. It was not close. Second half, we kind of pulled things together, and I did like the effort in the second half. But in the first half, it was very, very bad, especially in the second quarter. It was terrible. So I think we got to talk about a lot of things that went wrong in this game. Obviously, the injury report: Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero were out from this game. They did not play. Jimmy with the tailbone contusion that he suffered from the fall in Chicago, and then Tyler did not play against Chicago, and then did not play against Denver for the same reason, which was body soreness. That's what it was categorized as, but it was basically he was sick and he was under the weather, so he did not play. Markieff Morris also did not play against the Nuggets, and he's not played since the Jokic incident. So that is kind of concerning because I don't know what's going on with him. I would think that he would have come back by now, but he hasn't come back for over 10 games now. So I mean, that is kind of concerning. For the Nuggets, Jokic came back, Bones Highland came back, and they were obviously without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., who's not out for the season. So that was basically the injury report going into the game. And then in the first in the first quarter, I thought we started well defensively, and then once they started getting wide open threes, it was kind of downhill from there. They were knocking down all sorts of threes. Bones Highland, shout out to Bones Highland, man. I tweeted this, and I don't know if you guys probably saw this or not, but he should not have fallen down that low in the draft. There's no way. I had Bones Highland as a teen, like a late teen pick, like 19, 20. He fell down to 26, and the reason I think is because VCU, which was where he went to for college, they did not play in the March Madness tournament because of COVID or something. They got disqualified automatically because I think someone had tested positive from their team. So we did not see him in March Madness. But I think if we did see them, if we did see them playing March Madness, he would have gone a lot higher. So the Nuggets got another steal in Bones Highland because he should not have fallen down that low. So shout out to Bones. He's one of my favorite players in this draft. Apart from that, other guys who killed us, Jokic obviously had an amazing game, 24, 15, and 7. A lot was made about the Jokic brothers and all that stuff. I don't even forget all that. I don't really care about it. I'm just focused on the game right now. Will Barton, Monte Morris, they both chipped in. Aaron Gordon had 20. Jeff Green chipped in with 12. Campazzo hit a big 3 and then played some solid defense. For us, it was, Bam in the first half started very slow, but in the second half, he kind of took over in the third quarter a little bit. We saw some of those shots fall. He finished with a pretty nice stat line of 24, 13, and 6. Lowry had 17 and 14 assists. Max Strus had 19 off the bench. Caleb Martin had 18 starting. Shout out to the most underrated pickup in free agency, Caleb Martin. Go watch that video if you have not. Gabe Vincent at 14. And apart from that, no one else really did much. Duncan Robinson, another terrible game, man. It's kind of getting concerning a little bit. A lot of people are saying it's because of his podcast, but I don't think they've dropped an episode in over 2 weeks now. So there's no way it's because of his podcast. I really don't know why it is that he's struggling. Maybe it's because the ball switched from Spalding to Wilson. Maybe that's the reason. Everyone is obviously saying, all the teammates are saying it's because of a slump. That's fine. I don't think they're going to say anything different. You're not going to throw him under the bus. They're obviously going to protect their teammate. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on at all. I hope he figures this out. I don't think he's a lazy player. I think a lot of people have thrown that Hassan Whiteside comparison. I don't think he's a lazy player like that. I don't think he's a guy that doesn't care, because he just doesn't give that energy. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm completely mistaken because I don't know him as a person, but he doesn't seem like a lazy guy. He seems like a guy who's hardworking. So I don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully he finds a shot. But Max Strus, he really picked up the slack for the 3-point shooting, because he was the only guy consistently knocking down threes. And Kyle Lowry had a couple, Caleb Martin had a couple, Gabe Vincent had one in the third, late in the third. But some of the stuff I do want to talk about as far as the game is concerned, I talked about Duncan Robinson. Hopefully he figures this out. I don't know what's going on with him. Number 2, the zone defense. You cannot run a zone against Nikola Jokic, because the thing about the zone is you can run the zone. I think we were fine running the zone against the second unit when Jokic was out. But when you have a guy like Jokic, who's just an elite playmaker and he's just a hub that they have, the Nuggets are a very smart basketball team. They know that the weak point of a zone is is in the middle, right? So they got it to Jokic in the middle, and Jokic was just picking out shooters who were wide open time and time again. And with a guy like Jokic, who has the elite playmaking vision, who is a very smart basketball player, running the zone against him is not a good idea. So I don't know why we kept running the zone against him. I think it's because going man against him forced too many switches on him. But I did like the fronting strategy that we displayed on him in the beginning. I think the Nuggets, especially like in the first quarter when PJ Tucker was fronting him, and then the Nuggets were spending 10 seconds trying to get the ball to him in the post, and by that time a second defender would come and poke the ball away for a steal. I like that strategy more than running a zone against Jokic, because guys like Jokic and LeBron and people like that who are elite playmaking hubs on their teams, you can't run a zone against them because they'll just pick you apart. It's the reason why we couldn't run a zone against the Lakers in the finals, because not only did they have LeBron on their roster, they also had Rondo. So these two guys and Jokic and whoever else, Chris Paul, people like that, like running a zone against anyone else is cool because it disrupts the defense. But for a guy like Jokic or Chris Paul or LeBron or someone like that, it's just another form of defense that they can pick apart easily. So I guess we just wanted to try something different, but I didn't like the zone against Jokic one bit. But he's just a matchup nightmare, man. He always finds a way to kill us. I'm not happy for what he did to Morris, but I can't do anything but respect his game. He's a crazy player. Like, he's like a once in a lifetime talent. I haven't seen anything like him in the past. I don't watch Arvydas Sabonis play, so I don't know what he played like, but Jokic is a generational talent. So shout out to him, and he always has the Heat's number. Bam is just very, very undersized for him, and it doesn't really matter what else we do, because if Bam cannot guard Jokic, then I don't know anyone else who can. I tip my cap to Jokic because he is a matchup nightmare. Other stuff I do want to talk about, the 3-point defense. I think it's getting a little bit concerning because we do tend to give up a lot of open threes. And sometimes teams knock it down, sometimes teams do not knock it down. I was actually surprised that the Nuggets were not, at the top 10 in 3-point percentage, because they have some good shooters on their roster. Will Barton is having a career year. I've always rated Monte Morris as a point guard. I think he's a very underrated point guard. He would be a starter on a lot of teams. He's just starting the season because Jamal Murray's hurt, so he's a very good backup. Aaron Gordon, he's a solid 3-point shooter. Jeff Green is a solid. They have a bunch of solid 3-point shooters on their team. Austin Rivers, Zeke Naji, these guys can shoot the ball. I think the only guy who's who I would not mind shooting a 3 on their roster is probably Campazzo, because I don't think he's a shooter like that. But we just saw he made one at the end of the third. We do tend to give up a lot of open threes, and that's something that we do have to address, because we're very good at protecting the paint, taking charges and all that. But whenever a dribble penetration happens and it's kicked out, we're scrambling, because sometimes it's because of the zone, sometimes it's because of the switching. The 3-point defense has to improve. We do have to make sure that we give up less open threes. I don't mind teams taking more 3s and 2s against us, but I would prefer that not all of them be open, because I think that's how you beat yourself, because the Heat, when they lose, they tend to take a lot more 3s than they should as well. But a lot of the Heat's 3s that they take are contested because other teams do a pretty good job on our 3s. But ours, for some reason, whenever we give up 3s, most of them are all open. So we have to figure out how to combat that. It's tough. It's very tough. Obviously with Jimmy Butler out, Tyler Hero out, you're missing about 45, 46 points of scoring right there. And I'm not trying to make excuses, because I did say that there's no excuses for this game, because the Nuggets are also without two of their best players. But I do think if you had put Jimmy in this game and taken one of Bam or Kyle out, I think we would have had a better chance of winning this game. No knock on Bam or Kyle, but Jimmy's our MVP, just like how Jokic is their MVP. So if you took Jokic out and put in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., I don't think they would have won this game. So maybe, it's kind of like ifs, who cares? At the end of the day, we lost the game. But like I said, like you can't understate the impact of Jimmy Butler on this roster and Tyler Hero, because the bench scoring was non-existent without him. Markieff Morris too. So it was a tough game. It was a tough game. Now, getting to the underlying question, which is whether the Heat fans should start panicking. I saw a lot of things on the timeline yesterday. I saw a lot of, stuff thrown out at Heat players left and right, like fans arguing on Twitter. It was crazy. It was like a war zone. I really don't think we should be overreacting. I really don't. Just like how last year or the year before we weren't really overreacting. Like I really don't think we're only 21 games in the season, guys. I don't think we're probably like a little bit over a fourth away from finishing the season. Not fourth away, we're a fourth into the season. So I don't think we should be overreacting. I don't think we should be panicking. I think we'll be all right. I did say this because when you're missing Jimmy and Tyler, we haven't really seen this team fully healthy in a long time. I think the last time this team was fully healthy and that everyone played was probably against the Nuggets in Denver. Apart from that, I don't think this roster was fully healthy, because Morris was injured from that game onwards. And then you had guys like Jimmy missing some time, Tyler missing some time, Bam, Lowry. Like, this team needs to get fully healthy first, and then you guys can judge this team. Because I think you can't really judge a team without Jimmy Butler or Tyler Hero, the two top scorers on the Miami Heat this season. And against a team that always has our number, like Denver. Shout out to Denver, because Denver is a team that we just can't beat. So it's good news that we won't be seeing Denver again unless we meet them in the finals, which is highly unlikely, because I think they probably won't make it past the Warriors or the Suns or whoever else is in the West. So this is probably the last time we'll see Denver, which is good for us, because they are a team that always has our number. So I really don't think we should be overreacting. The only thing that I would be like slightly concerned or panicking maybe is the shooting of Duncan Robinson. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. I really don't. One more thing I do want to talk about. A lot of Heat fans have said, let's go get John Wall. John Wall is on a 44, 45, 46, something like that. He's on like a very hefty deal in the 40s, in the 40 million range. I don't think he's going to let go of that money to get a buyout. I know there was a report that came out yesterday that said if he were to get a buyout, I think the Heat, the Bucks, and then someone else, maybe the Clippers, would be at the top of his list. I don't think he's going to get bought out. I'm sorry. I know he wants to play basketball, but he would be foolish to let go of 45, 46 million that he's probably not going to get any other time, because he got that when he was in his prime, and right now he's not in his prime anymore. So he has to take that money. I think he will take that money. So unless John Wall is desperate to be bought out and is desperate to play and is desperate to lose out on his money, we're probably not going to get John Wall, because he's just a guy that he's just on too much money, and I don't think he's going to let that go. So that's what I have to say about John Wall. So don't get your hopes up about John Wall. If it happens, it happens. That's cool. But I would not get my hopes up, because if I was in John Wall's situation, yeah, you could probably win a ring maybe if you join the Heat or the Bucks or the Clippers or whoever, but you're still gonna miss out on guaranteed money that you're probably never gonna make again. So that's just my opinion. I don't think John Wall is gonna join the Heat, but if it does happen, I'll be ecstatic. Another guy that I tweeted and I said was a free agent this year is Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews is still a free agent. Now he's a guy that I really wanted the Heat to sign in free agency this season and last season. It did not happen. I think we got to go get Wes Matthews, man. I think if you need a shooter to plug into the lineup, he's just a guy that you can just put him into the lineup and it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to, figure out a bunch of stuff because he's not ball dominant. He's just running off screens, right? He's just a very easy plug and play player. And if Duncan Robinson is struggling for a long time, and if this does not stop, just go get Wesley Matthews because he can shoot the ball. And he can defend. So I would get Wesley Matthews on this roster. I would really want to get Wesley Matthews on this roster. He's still a free agent. I'm really surprised no one has signed him yet. I don't think it'll happen. Like I said, I'm not optimistic about it, but hopefully we can try. Hopefully we can try, because I would really love Wesley Matthews on this roster. But I think that's where we're gonna end the video, man. Let me know if you guys are panicking about the Heat or not. What your thoughts are about the Heat rant in the comment section below. I want to hear everything. I really do want to hear everything, because maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it is time to panic. Maybe maybe the start of the Heat's run was just too good to be true, and maybe we should overreact to the losses that we've suffered, and maybe we should start panicking. But I really don't think so. I think it's still very early in the season, and the sample size is not big enough for us to overreact to anything. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, man. Leave everything down there. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below.